All right, everybody, welcome back. We've got more safeties to take a look at here, more of these day three safeties. And we're going to kick off with a former Pac 12 member, Evan Williams of the Oregon Ducks. 23 years old when the season starts, so a little bit younger than a lot of these guys at the bottom of the draft, which is nice. 5'11, 200 pounds, 30 and 1/8 inch arms, a little bit on the shorter side for sure. Generally speaking, he's a little bit smaller than you would like, but I'm not sure it's critical. Nice big hands though, 10 and 1/8 inches. His combine testing, he was very explosive, 40.5 inch vertical, 10 foot 6 inch broad, but his speed, he ran a 4.6 with a 1.55 10 yard split, which it's not the worst, but you've got some room to grow at that point. You've definitely got some things to work through if you're Evan Williams. Walter Football actually really likes him. They have him in the early fourth. CBS has him in the fifth, and the database has him in, I believe, the late fifth there. So it's a little bit of a spread here. Productive the last 2 years, 150 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, 6 passes defense, a forced fumble, and good PFF grades the last 2 years on a team that has been good. Not a great Oregon team, but a good Oregon team that has been in the mix the last couple of years. So he's part of a capable defense. Last year, especially, Oregon's defense was good. So he's really good when he's lined up in the box. I think that even though he played basically almost equal role between free and strong in the NFL, he may make a better strong safety if he can overcome the fact that he's a little undersized. He holds his own in coverage when he's close to the line of scrimmage. If you let him defend like little flares and stuff in the flats and stuff over the middle, he's good in coverage there. He understands how to fill lanes and run support as well. He's got a cerebral understanding of run defense. Triggers downhill quickly when playing back. So he commits to reading, he commits to his read, and he triggers downhill fast, which is great. And he'll offer value as a special teamer, given his skill set, I think. Now, his lacking speed is going to be an issue when he's trying to play deep safety stuff, which is why I think that he has got a slightly better chance of going to strong safety in the NFL, but even that has issues because of his size, but he doesn't have great speed. He doesn't cover a lot of ground the way you want a safety to. He's passive in man coverage and doesn't make as many plays on the ball as he should because of it. And his open field tackling, it's just never going to be that good because he's not a great athlete. His reactive athleticism isn't quite enough to overcome his struggles in the open field. So I could maybe more see him as like a nickel corner who excels on special teams to allow him to overcome his size a little. But I don't know about him as a safety. I'd just go in the sixth round for special teams boost. I would say sixth round for special teams boost is about all you would reasonably expect. Maybe he could be like a nickel corner, but he's so slow. I don't even know about that. He'd be like a very physical slot corner or something. Next up we have Demani Richardson of the Texas A&M Aggies, going to be 23 when the season starts. 6 foot 0.5 inches, so decent height, decent weight, 210 pounds, 32-inch arms, 9 and 7/8 inch hands. You can see that the measurables are a little more reasonable. The combine performance was bad, however, he had an okay 10-yard split, but the overall 40 was bad, 4.6. Vertical was terrible, 31 inches, so not a great athlete, not very explosive. Excuse me. 9 foot 8 inch broad is pretty rough. CBS has him in the fifth. ESPN has him in the sixth. PFF has him undrafted. The database has him undrafted. I think he's going to get drafted, although probably not by much. Good production the last 2 years overall. Not anything over the top great in terms of like grading or bulk stats, but made some plays on the ball in coverage. 5.5 tackles for loss. It's not bad. He was a team leader on that Aggies defense. He was a captain. He covers a lot of territory despite being slow. It's one of those things where you just kind of have a knack for it. You just kind of have instinctive understanding of where to be that allows you to be around the ball, even though you're not the fastest in a straight line. I think he will be a good special teamer. He's good at navigating through traffic and finding the ball carrier. He hits hard and he hits with efficiency. He tackles through the ball carrier and takes him to the ground. And he's pretty big as far as safeties in this area of the draft go. A lot of these guys are very undersized, and Demani Richards is not undersized in that way. But limited athlete. I don't think he'll ever be very good in coverage. His change of direction skills aren't there. He didn't do the 20-yard shuttle or the three cone, but you look at him, he he just doesn't have the reactive short area quickness to be able to stick with a man in coverage. His instincts in coverage are not great either, I feel like. Um, he needs to harness his range a little bit better. He misses a lot of tackles because while he does hit hard, he blows some of the easy ones going for the hard hit. And he doesn't have a great understanding of like angles when he comes up in run support. So there's a lot of cerebral elements of the game that are lacking for him, even though there are some things that are certainly good, mostly the physical stuff. He's bigger than most safeties in this area, but at the end of the day, I don't see anything more than a special teams player in this particular defense under coach Mike McDonald. Just not a good enough athlete. I think that he would offer some stuff on special teams, and I would take him in the seventh round just for that. But it would be like a Ben Burkervin pickup. It would be like a I don't know, Ricardo Lockett pickup. You pick up those guys thinking they're just going to be special teamers, and I'd be shocked if they were anything else. All right. So we got one more safety to look at in this video, and it's a guy that most of you who watch my videos are very familiar with, Dominique Hampton of the Washington Huskies. This was the guy who jumped over the line of scrimmage against the Cougars that almost blew the game. He's also a very promising and interesting athlete who didn't produce according to that level of potential in the in college. He just didn't. Couldn't find his age. 6'2", 215 pounds, so great size. He's got long arms, 33 and a quarter, 10-inch hands, so the measurements are all great. His combine was great as well, especially given his size. He's not the quickest, but he is fast. 4.51 at 215 pounds is meaningful. His vertical was really good. His broad jump was above average. Three cone, 6'8", three really good. 20-yard shuttle was solid, 4.14. So he had an awesome combine, and I think took himself up several notches in this draft process. And you can kind of see that the big boards are in different stages of figuring that out. ESPN has him in the second round, which I don't think that's going to happen. But then you have CBS having him in the third. I'm sorry, the sixth, the late sixth, and PFF and the database having him in the seventh. I don't think that's going to happen either. I think he is going to go early day 3 at this point, and you can see why. The bulk production in college is there. Last year he had 109 tackles as a safety, 2 picks, 7 passes defensed, but the PFF grades aren't that good, and as we talk through this, we'll kind of start to understand why. But Dominique Hampton, this is what defensive coaches want, man. They want a big, fast, strong, long safety with agility and athleticism to spare. Like, this is very rare to find at this point in the draft. It's kind of rare to find at any point in the draft. He's got good instincts and he reads plays well when he's playing deep safety stuff. So he's a bigger safety that is also capable of playing deep. Or you should be interested right now. If you're a Seahawks fan and you just heard me say that, that should be intriguing to you. He's a hard hitter. He uses his length really well to break up passes, makes a lot of plays on the ball that a normal human could not make. And when he triggers downhill, when he plants and goes, it's quick. He's aggressive. He commits to it and he just goes for it and he makes a lot of plays because of it. And you can see that a lot of those plays aren't necessarily in the backfield, but that's because he typically plays from back. So overall, you look at Dominique Hampton and you say, wow, look at these incredible traits. But overall in college, he wasn't a bad player by any means, but he wasn't a great player. His man coverage is pretty, he I don't know. He has the athleticism to do it, right? He should be a good enough athlete to hang in man coverage, but he didn't really do it very well at UW. He doesn't take good angles to the ball, so he depends heavily on his athletic ability to bail him out. He isn't good at working his way through the wash. And I know that sounds weird given he had so many tackles last year, but he gets stuck on blockers and he doesn't navigate the thicket as well as you would like. And his tackle fundamentals, he's one of those guys who kind of lowers his head too much. And again, I know that's weird for somebody who had almost 10 tackles a game last year, or what would that be? About 8 tackles a game, but there are issues there. So you're going to have to coach this guy up, but it's pretty much all fixable. Like, his man coverage, that can get better with better coaching. His angles can get better with better coaching. His understanding of getting through traffic could get better. Fundamentally tackling well, that's something that should definitely be fixable. So, if you have faith in your coaching staff's ability to develop an interesting safety, then this is one that makes a lot of sense. And I believe in Coach McDonald enough to take him in the fourth if I need to. Like, it's hard to find guys with this much talent this late in the draft. If you can get him in the fourth, I'm all over it. And I'm going to just say, we're going to fix what's wrong with you because everything wrong with him is fixable to me. All right, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think about this crew. Let me know what you think about these safeties. See you guys soon. Go Hawks. One more safety video for the freeze, and then we're going to probably have to polish up some safety stuff a little bit later in the process, but that'll be it for now. See you guys soon.